What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael Roman, aka Allfires. No more Avengers movies, as I am seeing reported everywhere and spammed on social media. This all in regards to Marvel Studios President Kevin Fiege in his most recent quote during the Assembled the Making of the Eternals documentary on Disney+, in which he referred to Avengers Endgame as the final Avengers film. And while at first this may seem like a quote taken terribly out of context, as I thought that it was, what he goes on to say sort of makes it sound like he's telling the truth. We're going to break down exactly what he said, my reaction and what this would mean for the future of a Marvel Cinematic Universe that won't have any more Avengers films, and why they would do this after everything they've built with that brand in the last decade. We're breaking down Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige's most recent comments about the Avengers franchise and its possible non-future in the MCU, but first, if you could, consider hitting the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel just like this, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, reviews, to industry insider scoops, and everything in between, hence the name. So if that sort of thing's for you, consider hitting the subscribe button and leaving a comment down below. That'll automatically enter you to win our next PS5 giveaway, which we are literally days away from. If you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So as I said moments ago in the prologue, and this is on Disney+, it's the Making of the Eternals Assembled documentary. Kevin Feige had to say exactly this, which has everybody in a huge stir. Quote, Marvel Studios and the Marvel Cinematic Universe is now past their 10th anniversary, and with the release of the final Avengers movie, we finally completed the 22-movie Infinity Saga. Now, a little context for this quote. This was taken during the primary filming on Eternals, which means it was much closer to the release of Avengers Endgame than it is now. So in him referring to it as the final movie, it could just meant he meant completing the Infinity Saga, not that there'll never be an Avengers film. No need to panic, right? Well, this is what he had to say next. Quote, where do we go from there? Where do we start? What we really wanted to do was two things. Start fresh with whole new characters, new storylines, but also go back to some of the deepest, richest mythology in the Marvel comics. And then comicbook.com, who broke this story this morning as well, also made sure to point out that there was an older quote given to Collider from Feige that said this, quote, I think we want to wait a reasonable amount of time from Avengers Endgame to start a new saga, which is already underway and already started. And then you need time, as you did in Phase 1, to build that saga before you start bringing everyone together. Which makes it really sound like, when you pair those two quotes together, Kevin Feige is saying, look, we're going to take 10 years, just like we did with the Infinity Saga. Funny, I said that just last week. Then, we're using all new characters and storylines to introduce them all, then bringing them all together. Which certainly doesn't sound like they're going to have another Avengers film. But there were reports as recent as last month that the Secret Wars film could come under the Avengers franchise name, and the reason I bring that up is taking a step back from our fandom and sort of taking a leveled head about this. Marvel Studios and Disney invested billions into production and marketing on the Avengers title for over a decade and had the most successful completion to a cinematic franchise ever. Strictly from a business bottom line and making dollars point of view, there is no way that you permanently abandon that brand, never to use it to make another dollar. I sincerely appreciate Marvel Studios taking this time to try to bring up much lesser known characters. The fact that we're getting both an Echo and an Agatha Harkness solo series on the future of Disney Plus tells you just how committed Marvel Studios truly were to what Kevin Feige just said, reaching back into the deepest mythology of Marvel Comics and using whole new characters. They're doing that. And taking that one step further, maybe the future of major Marvel crossovers doesn't make sense with an Avengers subtitle because you'll have other teams like the Fantastic Four and X-Men that will arguably have more to do with those current storylines than bringing these new heroes back together under an Avengers team. But there are a couple of reasons there is no way Marvel Studios is done with the Avengers. Namely, number one, since the beginning of Marvel Phase 4, starting with WandaVision, Marvel Studios has basically been forming the Young Avengers. And now I totally understand that a future Disney Plus series named The Young Avengers is not the same sort of cashing in on the brand that I passionately mentioned 2 minutes ago. You guys are thinking more of like a Secret Wars Avengers subtitle major film franchise movie that's cashing in on that brand. And I totally agree with you, but the Young Avengers alone are enough to keep a lot of people interested, especially on Disney Plus, keep that name in play. And personally, I do not think that we have seen the final Avengers Marvel Studios movie. I think there are too many very awesome storylines that would demand a new Avengers team. There are too many current characters in the MCU that could easily form multiple versions of the Avengers. A West Coast Avengers, there's tons of those teams and tons of those characters that are just now entering. Marvel Studios, again, having spent this much money and ending it the way they did with the Infinity Saga, think about his quote, wanting to take a lot of time. Of course they do. You can't have an awesome reunion tour if you don't retire completely. And really, while it feels like it's been forever since we saw Avengers Endgame in the theater, literally forever, with the pandemic setting everything back, it's really only been 1 full year or so of storylines. That's it. Look, you guys listen to me every day. Well, a lot of you listen to me every day, talk about Marvel stuff, and my whole premise for this channel has always been the same. If I'll call my friends and talk about it on the phone, or if when we're hanging out, we talk about something in the MCU, that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about. I try to be as genuine about this as possible. So I'm not lying or being fake when I say I'm really glad that Marvel is doing this, doing TV shows for characters that we never thought we'd get in the MCU. I'm also really glad that they're taking the time to do characters like Shang-Chi, that they're taking the time to do characters like the Eternals, new teams, because if they don't do these things, we'll never get these films. Now are the time while they want to let the Avengers films breathe. But being measured about this, reading the tea leaves, heck yeah, we're going to get another Avengers film. I don't know how many years it's going to be and whether it's going to be a major crossover, but we're definitely going to get one. And no, I don't mean a Young Avengers on Disney Plus, even though we're going to get that too. I think we're definitely going to get another Avengers title alongside the other crazy films we're going to get from Marvel. Look, with their commitment to this many projects and how many we still have left just in the early part of Marvel Phase 4, there's no slowing down and a ton of storylines for them to get through. We're not having Secret Wars in 2026. You wouldn't even want that anyway. So a little reminder here to be measured about this, even though quotes like this can get us scared and think it's all coming to an end. Honestly, guys, it's just begun. And well, yeah, I'm super hyped for a Wolverine show on Disney Plus or a Wolverine solo movie directed by the Russos. I want that ASAP. I also want Agatha, House of Harkness on Disney Plus because, again, and as Kevin Feige made sure to point out during that quote, which might be the most important part, there's no rush. They've got plenty of time. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. Is it crazy that it's really only been like a year or so of stories since Avengers Endgame because of the pandemic pushback? It's wild, right? Let me know all your thoughts down below quickly. Let's jump into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Okay, still giving away a PlayStation 5 every 20,000 subscribers all the way up to 1 million. We're going to ding the next one, 940, any day now. If you want to be entered to win, same rules always apply for all the giveaways. Hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below. If you want to follow me on other platforms, I'm most active on Instagram, so I left my handle, I am Fires, down in the left, right-hand corner. Not sure which corner it'll be in, but it's in one of the corners. Feel free to follow me over there. I update a lot of Marvel memes and what's going on with my music. Speaking of which, you can find me as All Fires, hence the AKA as my introduction at the beginning of the video, on all music platforms. That's All Fires. One of the songs you guys are blowing up right now, and it's going viral, and I'm actually tickled about it. I find myself laughing throughout the day. Thank you so much. If you're one of the people who spammed this, I figured I'd give that thank you in the last minute of the video. Also, real quick, want to give a shout out to my friend Jason, who's just about to ding 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's been a long time since I've had a friend be this close. If like 800 or 500 of you so go like or subscribe to his YouTube channel, he's going to ding 100,000 and get that plaque. He's a close friend of mine, so I thought I'd give him a shout out. Even if you don't follow WoW or want to watch his videos, no worries, just go drop a sub and let's get this man the plaque. I love you guys. Stay tuned. I have some awesome videos, X-Men related, in the MCU coming out here in the next couple of days. In fact, it was going to go up today, but we had to do this one instead. All right, peace, love, Spider-Man.